Hey guys, what's up? So it's Cypher Slacker, and I am going to show you real quick a couple misinteractions. I'm going to call this a Cyber Dragon tutorial part 2 and or some misinteractions. So we're actually going to be looking at the man of the hour here is Cyber Jormungardr, and I honestly thought this card was a lot worse off than what it was. It's still not the best, but you can actually use this card as a pseudo starter. You're probably thinking, you're a madman, what are you talking about? Well, here's the thing, okay? First off, this card has two functions. Function 1, actually three functions. Function 1, this acts as a distractor and or a hand trap magnet. So let's, for sake of argument, we're going to pretend that our opponent has a monster on the field. We are going second, and we're going to summon this guy out. So we summon this guy out. My opponent is either going to ash this, attempt to negate this. Like they're going to interact with this card. That's the beauty of this card. They're going to interact with it some way. So you go Cyber Jormungardr, you special out the Cyber Dragon from your deck. Okay, now you have to special out the OG Cyber Dragon. Now typically, what I was just using this card as is a way to do that, get into Nova, and then get into Infinity. Now, what if I told you that this card has other utilities? Mainly, this can be a pseudo starter. So we go Cyber Dragon, we activate his effect. We're going to bounce the Cyber Dragon back to our hand, and when we do that, we grab Poly. Okay. Now, this is not a one-card starter because it would be if this card was Cyber Dragon Jormungardr. That point, it would be a one-card starter, but it is sadly not. So we have to have at least one other Cyber Dragon in hand for sake of argument right here. So we use the Cyber Jormungardr, we bounce this back, we get the Poly. We do have another Cyber Dragon monster in hand. We go Poly, we fuse these two together, okay? We activate Rampage Dragon. Now Rampage Dragon is going to send two from our deck. So we're gonna send the Cyber Dragon core, and then we're gonna send another copy of Hertz. So when we do that, we use Hertz's effect to get the core back. So we effectively just use Gamertag Rampage Dragon as a starter, as a way to mill Hertz, grab core, and get the best normal summon in the deck. So now we can activate this one's effect. Okay, polymerization goes to grave. You activate core's effect. And you can grab a couple different things depending on what else you have in your hand. Because I'm not running Clockwork Knight, you can add Cybernetic Horizon, Cybernetic Realm. But remember, if you're trying to OTK, you're going to need another spell in hand. After you summon these two, you can then go into Nova and Infinity to try to save this card and then kind of play out. So let's say, for example, I had in my hand, okay, if I had a spell, I would go for Cyberdark Realm. If I had another monster in hand, I'm going to go for Cybernetic Horizon. So let's say, for example, sake of argument, I had another Cyber Dragon in hand, okay. I then get the Cybernetic Horizon. I could go Horizon, pitch this Cyber Dragon, pitch the Worm from my deck, and then I'm going to go ahead and pitch from my extra deck the Cyber Eternity Dragon. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab from my deck Cyberdark Claw. This will go to grave. I will pitch the Claw. The Claw will get me to Realm. I'm going to activate the Realm. The Realm's going to go ahead and grab me the Chimera. Now, I'm going to go into my graveyard. I'm going to activate the Cyberdark Worm. I'm going to mill a Cyber Dragon. I'm going to mill Natchter because I've already used Hertz's effect. So I'm going to mill the Natchter. Add back the Cybernetic Horizon. Extra normal summon the Chimera. Pitch the Horizon. Get myself a Power Bond. Now, I did this with Jormungardr, and I believe I had, a Cyber Dragon in hand. So this is all off of opening up Jormungardr plus Cyber Dragon. Okay, that's all I opened. I opened up Jormungardr plus Cyber Dragon, and I was able to get to this board. Okay, it's pretty all right. Okay, now I understand that I'm sure you could probably make better boards if you use Clockwork Knight, the Link. I'm not a huge fan of that card. I'm not a huge fan of playing outside of Cyber Dragons because I want to see how good I can make the deck kind of on its own. Okay, so now that we have the Power Bond, we have everything kind of set up, we can go ahead and make our Link, and then you pretty much have your option of which fusion you want to go for. You go Power Bond, you can go into Rampage, you could go into Cyber End. And I unironically, I still play Cyber End Dragon because it allows you to hit through piercing. So if you're worried, you know, or not worried, if your opponent has something in defense that you can just, you know, summon him out, get the boost off of him, you have a negate on board, and then you're also protected because of this guy here, this guy engraved. You banish him, your fusion monsters cannot be destroyed or targeted. And if they activate anything that can banish him or flip him face down, you've got the infinity on board. So, honestly, Jormungardr is not looking bad. And think about that. We opened up Jormungardr with literally a Cyber Dragon monster. So, opening up Jormungardr plus a Cyber Dragon monster is a 2-card combo for what we just did. And we're going to look at one more here. Okay. I just want to reiterate something. Okay, so you go Cyber Jormungardr. With the Cyber Jormungardr, you special out the OG. You flip it back to hand. You get the poly. And then you're using Rampage Dragon as a starter. Like, that's insane. That is insane. It's crazy stuff. Crazy times we're living in. All right, guys. So here's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna look at Jormungardr plus core and see what we could fool around here and do. So we go Jormungardr. Jormungardr is gonna special out Cyber Dragon. Pop it back to hand. Add the poly. Normal summon core. Use core to grab Horizon. Go Horizon. Pitch Cyber Dragon. Pitch Worm from my deck. Send Cyber Dark Dragon from my extra deck to grave, and then search. Actually, wait, hold on. Instead of sending Worm, we're gonna send Chimera, who will then, after this resolves, send Worm, and then we're actually going to search to our hand a Cyber Dragon Natchter. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to activate the Worms effect. Worm's coming back out. When Worm comes back out, he has to send one from deck. You're going to send Hertz, who's going to grab you OG from deck. You're going to take these two. You're going to fuse them. Or not fuse them. Overlay them. Make Nova. Detach. Special out. Actually, detach the Worm to special the Worm back out. And then make your Infinity. Okay. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to go for Natchter. You're going to pitch the Cyber Dragon. You're going to special out the Natchter. Natchter is going to recover the Chimera. When Worm is recovered, which I forgot to do that, when Worm is recovered, you grab back a Cyber Spell. And then what we're going to do is we're going to activate the Polymerization, fusing 1, 2, 3 into Cyber End Dragon. And then we're going to activate Chimera's effect to discard this measly little spell card and get a Power Bond. We are going to go Power Bond, taking the Cyber End Dragon plus the Cyber Dark Dragon. I think this one goes to grave and this one gets banished because it's like weird. It's a weird requirement. And then you're going to summon out Cyber Dark End Dragon with 10,000 attack. And then you're going to go in your graveyard and you're going to attach the Hertz. And then you can use Infinity's effect if you want to suck him up so that way you're not leaving him on board. And that will get an attack boost. This is opening just Jormungardr and Core, or Jormungardr and Cyber Emergency, or any way to get to Cybernetic Horizon or Cyberdark Realm. Because if you open up Cyberdark Realm, you could just add the Cyberdark Claw, pitch it, get to this, and then kind of play off from there. So I just really feel like I did not give this card the proper credit that it kind of deserved. It's not, godly by any stretch of the imagination, but Cyber Jormungardr, I think, definitely deserves to be at least in OTK variants, at least a 2 to 3 of, at least. I actually started with 2. I think I'm moving it up to 3, like 100%, because this card is your distractor. This card is the thing that is either going to be a hand trap magnet so that you can attempt to play, or this is going to be the thing that kind of baits a bunch of negates. So, or if not, it can turn Rampage into a starter, which is just absolutely insane in my opinion. It's not tier 0, it's not broken, but it's pretty solid for what it is. So guys, Cypher Slacker,